Hello again. Let's get started on the second video in the series on double bowing. I had a question about the last video where I was showing an exercise to play the chromatic scale using a bow on each side, and it went like this. So just playing up and down the chromatic scale, playing every string or every note in order, just like if you were to play every white key and black key on the piano. The question was, I don't know which direction to go with my left bow. And that's really something that you shouldn't think so much about as far as the direction of the first note. It's just that the next note will probably be the opposite direction. Just like what I recommended for playing a song with a single bow, with the left bow playing on this side, once I play the C and the C sharp, I pushed on the C sharp, the D, I'm gonna push, the D sharp, I'm gonna pull. So the two sharps there, C sharp and D sharp, I played going the opposite direction. Don't put a lot of thought into that. Just work with that and just worry about playing the notes and keeping it smooth. And the main thing is to get that left bow so that it is working for you without having to put a lot of thought into it, so that you're able to play songs without having to think so much about which direction. So that's something you really shouldn't worry about. It will come to you. So we're going to talk today. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into my favorite style of double bowing, and I call that melody harmony style, which I'm playing a melody with my right hand, and then always a lower note for a harmony note or drone that I'm holding, or even no note at all. Sometimes when I'm playing, I'll lift this bow and I won't use it to play note for note. That's just something that you decide as you go, and that's something that can always change. Every time you play it, you can play it a different way. I'll start out with simple gifts, or 'tis the gift to be simple. So the first note is G, 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 C. So for that G, I could play two notes down. Is a third down would be the E. Hear that nice harmony? I could play down to the C and play a C and a G. I could play the two notes down, and when I come up to the C, I could move this bow up to the G. So you got a lot of freedom as far as what you can do. That's just the first couple of notes. Let's do that again. So you see I was holding that left bow as a drone, while this bow was moving around still on the melody. So you can do as much or as little as you want with this left bow. There's no set way to do it, and there shouldn't be. That should be up to you to play as you want to. That's why I don't really want to teach specific songs and teach note for note. I want you to start listening and hearing those harmony notes. So when I get to there, I can jump up to two notes below my melody. I could hold that C. I could stay on the G. So a lot of freedom with the left-hand bow. So there's, as long as you don't play the two notes right beside each other, remember that's a clash. As long as you're not next to each other with the bow, it's probably going to be some kind of a harmony note, and you're going to have to rely on your ear as far as what sounds the best to you. There's not really a way for me to teach you every note. You know, we maybe could write it down and or get somebody to write it down for us and write down a melody and every note that you should play as far as a harmony note. But what I want you to do, and I've been urging you to learn songs from memory and to memorize songs, and this is where the first place it really comes in handy, is that the right hand bow is playing the melody of the song. Throughout all of this double bowing. So, and it has to be there. You have to have that melody. The left bow has more freedom, and it can be lazy. It doesn't have to go note for note. So by lazy, I mean that you can hold those notes out into a drone. Now remember, the drone was just to reverse and don't lift. So don't lift off the note. Stay on the string. One thing I maybe forgot to mention the other day, when you're reaching across with the left bow to play, and in this style of playing, I play primarily in the key of C. It's just easier for me to do. It's satisfying to me to be able to play a melody and add those harmony notes, but both bows stay on the same side, on the right hand side, most all of the time. So when I'm reaching across with this left bow, I don't have to come way up high with the bow. It can stay just enough to clear the other strings. So you don't need a great big angle, just something like that. And that is comfortable for this arm. I'm not raising it way up. I don't have this arm raised way up in the air. So something like that. Now the reason I'm staying on a lower harmony note and not crossing over is easy to get tangled up. It's, for me, it's really starts to be too much to think about. So if I can just stay on a lower note, that's all I want. So you can do what you want with it. You know, I know there's some folks out there that will be able and definitely can cross over and play those two notes, but takes that's the word, practice. It takes a lot of practice to do that. I'm comfortable playing with the two bows and playing in this style just with a lower harmony note, drone, or no note. You can decide what's best for you, but this is my favorite style of playing. It's primarily in the key of C. Now I have a special psaltery that years ago I discovered playing with the Appalachian dulcimer to play mostly in the key of D. You know, you have to play, there's two sharps here. So I've got to reach across to that left side, or I've got to use the left bow to play those notes on that side. To make that easier for me, I modified one of my psalteries a long time ago to play in the key of D along this side. So where the black dots are for my C's, those became D's, and then the two black dots became A. So it plays the D scale along this side. I had one recently for sale on my website, and it's already sold. But for me, that's the perfect way to play along with the dulcimer and to be able to have the freedom to play a melody and any harmony notes Any melody harmony playing that I do in the key of C, when I play it on that instrument, it's automatically in the key of D. So anything that I learn to do here, I can just switch the instruments and I'm immediately in another key. It's just something that has worked for me. Now that would be something called alternative tuning, which you can't just take a standard psaltery like this one. I couldn't just tune every note up and take the C to a D and the E to, or the D to an E, and then F to F sharp. I'm going to start breaking strings because there's too much tension on the strings. So it has to be modified some to be able to do that. But I figured out a way to do that, and it really works out nice for me. So primarily, when you see me playing at a jam, it's a dulcimer jam, we're playing in the key of D. I'm using one of those instruments that is tuned to the D scale. Now the dulcimers will play in two other keys, which are the key of G and the key of A, when they capo to the 3rd fret or the 4th fret. So all I need is one note on the left side to play each one of those keys. I've got to switch out the F sharp that I have, and it becomes F is what I need for like the let's see, key of G has one sharp, it has an F sharp. So where I have the C sharp tuned over here, I need to play a C natural. So it's a learning process again, but I find it pretty easy to play along with the dulcimers, and that satisfies me, and I had a need for that, and I figured it out, and it works for me. May be confusing to folks. I know it's confusing to folks that need to read music or follow a musical score to play. It's a whole new learning process unless you have learned to play by ear on the key of C on a C instrument, and you switch out to that psaltery, play exactly the same note positions, but you're automatically in the key of D. You may say, well, that's cheating, but it's not. All guitar players, or most guitar players, dulcimer players, they use a capo. They put it on a certain fret, changes the key, but they can use the same fingering patterns, the same chords. So I don't feel like it's cheating, but that is harmony melody playing. So starting out Ode to Joy, so I'm playing just the C, and the first note of the song is E. So I've played that C. I did play it as a drone. But when I play the D, I lift off of the C, so I don't have it. I just play it single note. I could go down one note and grab that as a harmony. That sounds okay to me. Let's try that. So that's okay. So lifting off, or play 2 notes down. You're just skipping one note and playing the next note down. That's a 3rd. So when I went down to the C, that would work to play that A there. So see, I'm listening to that harmony note. I'm moving it around to what sounds good to me. So next time through, I may try something else. That sounds pretty good. But like I said, you've got the freedom to decide what sounds good, what doesn't work. Depend on your ear. Listen to those notes. If it doesn't sound like it blends into the song, try something else, or lift and don't play a note with the left bow for that particular part of the tune. So left bow reaching across, that's, you know, we practiced playing that drone the other day, playing a drone, and then the right hand bow going ahead and playing a melody or just a scale. This is where that starts to come in handy. If you got your brain trained to play that drone and divide itself from the movement of the other bow, so you're not doing this, you're doing this. So now we're adding the fact that you're going to look for a harmony note that works as you're playing. So we're adding one more thing to that. There's one more thing to think about. That's why it's good to work into this slowly as far as what the left bow does. Drones are great. You can get into playing note for note, melody, harmony, just whatever you want to do. It's entirely up to you when you do it this way. So at the end of that little run, I did as I was holding this C, I did a little walk down from G to F to E. A lot of times I'll use that at the end of a song, but you can find other places in the song to throw that in that might work for you. Just use your ear. That's the main thing that you're doing. Listen to those notes, and you can tell what sounds good and what sounds right to you when you're listening to that harmony note. So playing like that, if I'm leaving out the middle note, playing 3 notes but leave out the middle, that's playing in thirds. So when I got up to the top to finish that, so that I didn't play a third at the top, I stayed on the G, so I'm 4 notes apart, leaving out the middle 2, playing a 4th. So when I play back down, if I play the C and go back down to the B, I left the left hand where it is, and then I'm going to start moving with it. So when I finished there, I skipped 2 notes and went down to the G. So there's, if I didn't skip 2 notes, if I just had 1 note, that sounds like that's leading into or a transition into another note, but it may not be right for the song that you're playing. So just start working at listening to the song behind the melody, whichever song you choose to play. You want to choose something really, really simple like Mary Had a Little Lamb. Let's see what we have here. All right, started on an E. So a G drone worked. Let's try note for note. So just moving around You can stay on a drone, you can play note for note. If you're playing one certain style doing that, I would suggest that you maybe change it ever so often so that you're not playing just exactly the same style of double bowing. What I mean is, instead of just moving around only with the melody and harmony, some certain parts of the song, leave it on leave that left bow on a drone. So that is up to you to decide what to do in a case like that. But I think it's a good, really good method to play in double bowing, but it's only one of several. And we will talk about the next one in the next video. But have fun with this. Practice using that left bow, get it to moving smooth, and if you can get to where you don't have to think so much about what you're doing with the right hand bow, go ahead and play that melody, kind of put it on automatic, and listen and think more toward what the left bow is doing to get those harmony notes in there. See you in the next video.